Hey, what's happening? This is Classified. I'm a MC producer from Enfield, Nova Scotia, and I'm doing this show right now. Welcome to the music. Good to be here.
Welcome.
All right.
It's an honor to have you on. My wife and I were just driving down from the Manitoulin, which is Northern Ontario, for the weekend. And her comment was that "O Canada" is her favorite version of "O Canada" that there is.
Nice.
She absolutely loves it. It's been a big fan for a long time.
Thank you. I don't know how many versions of "O Canada" there is. I guess there's the French version, the English, and then mine,
and then yours.
And I heard, and we were listening to one that sort of blended, I think, Bob Cajun, Tragically Hip Bob Cage, like somebody mixed the two together. It was
okay.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So the question that I have for you is, recognizing and acknowledging what Canada has been through, from hopefully a reconciliation perspective, over the last couple of years. If you were to write that today, recognizing what Canada's dealing with right now, like how, and maybe it wouldn't, but what might the lyrics sound like? What might that song sound like today?
For "O Canada"?
Yeah, just like, and again, not specific "O Canada." I'm not asking you to rewrite the lyrics, but just more the.
No, I already did.
Yeah.
The Underground Railroad, residential schools right here is where they called home. There's a lot about this country that I love, but there's things about this place that I'm ashamed of. And we need to talk about it, need to make a plan, recognize what we did to this native land. Maybe then we can look back and celebrate, stop the hate. That's how you make a country great. That's
wow.
"O Canada" 2023.
Wow.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Because again,
no, it's all good. That's something I've been
today,
doing.
and that's what I was thinking of.
I've been doing that for the last year and a half, 2 years, on the road. Whenever I did "O Canada," after kind of when all that kind of came out about residential schools, I had a show and I was like, I don't feel right doing "O Canada" right now. It didn't feel like the right thing without kind of talking about this, addressing it. So I ended up writing that. 12 bars or whatever. And that's a verse on my new album, but I always do it at the end of "O Canada" now as a part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to talk about people, and this could either be a quick or this could be like a heavy conversation, especially now. And I, you didn't write the song now, the song you wrote a while ago, but like today, Greg and I were just talking before we went live about a conversation I had with another friend a couple of years ago who grew up in Palestine. But that song it's heavy, but it's so timely. Were you legit mad and angry writing that song or having to write it?
Disappointed. Yeah, I think that's kind of when I wrote that song, I woke up on social media, whatever, news, reading the paper, whatever it was, just seeing the division, man, just seeing so much people hating these people for these reasons. And, whether it's religion, whether it's sex, race, wealth, whatever it was, it just really seemed every time something would come up, it'd be two types of groups of people arguing with people. No one wants to hear anybody else's opinions. If you don't agree with me or I don't agree with you, it's just hate, more hate. And that's kind of what the whole song was like. I'm just kind of sick of everybody. You know what I mean? It kind of was more of a joke kind of when I wrote it. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just sick of everyone. I don't care if you're black or white, male, woman, gay, straight, whatever it is. I'm sick of everybody complaining right now. I'm sick of everybody looking at these small individual differences, and this is like what we're focused on right now when our world is in, could use a lot more focus in a lot of different ways rather than worrying about these small differences we have as humans. And that's kind of what it all sparked from, was that. And then as I kept writing the song, and I went, I don't like atheists or the churchgoers, pray to God that the worst is over, but I know the truth is going to hurt tomorrow and it's all our fault. Not one person, all of us. Not one faith, all of us. Not one race, all of us. There's only one place for all of us. And as soon as I wrote those 4 lines, that's when I was like, that's where the song got to go. That's the message of the song. It's, you know, it's a little lighthearted of like, I'm sick of old people, young people, rich people, broke people. But then when you really take it in and listen to the message, there is a deeper, you know, a message that is supposed to bring people together.
Yeah.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
You've written hundreds of songs. Mm-hmm. Did you ever have you always written from a place of disappointment?
Yeah, a lot. Not always. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of my songs come from just observation, whether it's a good thing, whether it's a song like Good News that's about like, you know, appreciate these small things that we have, these small wins, you know, appreciate this good news. It might be a small, simple thing, but those are the big things in life. I think when this life is kind of all over, you look back and it's all these small things. So Good News is about recognizing stuff like that. So I do write about it. You know, I'd say I probably usually write more positive stuff, or at least songs that by the end of the song, you kind of get a positive something out of it.
Yeah, sure.
And that was never on purpose. That was just, I think that's the way I look at life too. Like, you know, I'm usually a pretty happy guy. I'm not down too much. I have my days here and there, but usually I'm like, you know, let's see the brighter side of things. So even when a song like People starting out with like, I don't like people, I don't like white people,
Mm-hmm.
any type of people, it still went to a positive point by the end of the song.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the questions that I wanted to know, because you're a very proud dad,
Definitely,
with the kids, how has becoming a dad changed your songwriting and your lyrics from pre-kids to post-kids, and the hopefully the hope?
yeah. Just, I think the maturity of it, like, you know, I don't think I had kids and was like, oh, I ain't gonna rap about bitches or drugs, and, you know what I mean? Like, that wasn't really my shtick anyway. Like, I was you know, coming from a middle class kid that fell in love with hip hop, you know, learning about it, fall in love with the culture, and tried to bring my own angle to it. You know, that's what I realized when I grew up. It took me a few years to try to figure out my game, but once I realized what I got at hip hop was being proud of who you are, representing yourself, whatever that is. If that's coming from the New York ghettos or projects, or if that's coming from small town Enfield, Nova Scotia, you represent where you're from. And, you know, that's what I always got out of hip hop. So when I had kids, it wasn't, I think the main thing that changed is just having different values. The same thing with life, just having different values, valuing different things, appreciating different things, not stressing over foolish things that once you have kids, you're like, man, I don't need to worry about this or that and this. I got to worry about this now. So I think just that came out of my music, just growing up in life and just having more to write about and just looking at things from a different point of view.
I read somewhere that you wanted to retire a while ago.
I've tried to retire. I hate using the word retire.
You've tried to retire?
Not that I've tried, but I just kind of felt like after my Grateful album in 2015, 16, you know, I got to work with Snoop on that album, DJ Premier, kind of like my heroes.
Yeah.
You know, it was just, you know, it was my number 16th, 17th album. Kids were starting to get a little bit up there more. And I was just kind of felt like, what else am I going to write about? You know what I mean? So like my last song on that album is just me shouting out everybody in my career, from the first guys I rap with to the guy who got me my first show to my video directors, all that stuff. Cause I really felt like this is probably it for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then after sitting home for 6-7 months and, you know, kids are off to school, wife's busy. What do I do on my free time? I make beats. Like that's what I did when I was 16, 17, come out, turn on the drum machine, start make beats. And as soon as I make something that it gets me excited, I'm just like, okay, let me write. Then I'm calling my brother, we got to shoot a video, and then it just cycles again. So I just realized over the years, like, I don't need to do this for money anymore. Financially, I've been pretty smart with my money, investing and stuff like that. It's really came back to it like it's a hobby. It's something I need to do for myself just to have purpose through the day, and something I feel like when I put it out, I still get feedback from fans that they're getting something out of it. And that motivates me to be like, well, let me just keep doing this until I don't feel like I'm bringing anything new to the game. So, you know, try to step away a bit, but this is, I realized over the years, it's not just, this is my job, my thing to make money. Like, this is something I need to do for myself.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, you've worked with, you know, like you said, Snoop Dogg and others. You've opened for him and Busta Rhymes. done some stuff with Maestro. Was there any thought ever of leaving the East Coast, going to a New York or never, eh?
Never. It came up a few conversations, more so with like my management.
Yeah.
Not even so much like moving to LA or Toronto, but just spending a lot more time there.
Yeah.
And it's just, moving was never in my mind, because it was never, I always say this line, it's kind of getting cheesy now, but it was never get rich or die trying for me. It was like, I'm a kid coming out of Canada trying to make it out of hip hop. When I first started, this is before Drake, this is before Eminem. So a white kid from Nova Scotia making it off of music. I wasn't that guy that was like, oh, I'm taking this to the top. I was like, I like doing this. I feel like, I'm getting better at it. And I just kept doing it. And eventually, the shows went from 20 people to 200 to 1,000. And, it was a very slow climb, but I never once on the come up thought this was actually going to work out. It's, just something I love doing, kept pushing. And slowly when I look back, I'm like, shit, I'm here now.
Yeah.
I got this to a point where I never thought I would make it at, but, a lot of luck, but more so a lot of hard work. And just loving what I'm doing, like appreciating the culture, the art, and the creativity side of it.
Is that dinner you're showing us?
What am I showing? Oh, what do I got there? Oh, yeah, dinner. I didn't realize I put it up in the camera. I was trying to put it down to get all articulate shit.
This episode brought to you.
Yeah. This is my chance to slip out from the wife and kids right now.
This is your.
Let me get it in.
This is classifieds time, man.
Exactly.
You need to chill out. I live in Scarborough, and I've bumped into over the years Maestro at a bunch of stuff locally, and then I hear he's moved out to the East Coast.
Yeah, he's out here now, man.
Yeah, what's in the water there? What is it? Is it the people out there?
Definitely the people. But like for Maestro, I know he moved out because it was for his kid during COVID and all that.
Yeah.
It was all locked down. His son's mom lives out in New Brunswick. So that was what he did, was kind of more of a family thing.
Yeah.
But then he's been killing it out in New Brunswick. He's like the mayor of St. John, New Brunswick now. He's doing everything out here. So it's cool that he found a niche. He's doing TV shows out here. He's hosting a radio show, a bunch of different stuff. So it's cool. And I get to see him all the time. So
nice.
I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, that must be fun.
Yeah.
That must be fun.
Yeah, we've grown into good friends over the years. I've known Maestro I've known him as a fan, and being a high school kid, dance to the Backbone Slide, but personally, 15 years now. So definitely consider him a close friend.
How many albums is it now classified?
That's funny because someone was over that day and we were joking about it. We went through Wikipedia and started counting because I was like, I don't even know where it's at now. But if you count EPs and all that, I think it's like 20, 21, I think.
21 albums. That's like at a Neil Young pace.
I've been doing it for 25 years and I'm making all the beats too. So it's not just like I'm just rapping this stuff.
Yeah.
Man, it's like I said, I put my first one out, a cassette. I got one up there somewhere when I was like 15 years old. You know what I mean? It was just make my 10 songs on my 4-track, press up 100 copies of a cassette, and then boom, let's do it again 6 months later. So it took a while. Now I take my time a little bit more with albums, but when I first started, I was bumping out like an album or two every year. Just putting it out.
You talked earlier about, just relaxing at home and finding yourself back in the studio making beats. It's one thing, right, to sit down and make a beat and get excited about that. But putting out an album, I mean, that's like focused energy, time. What keeps you so prolific after 25 years, still putting out an album every couple of years?
It starts, like I said, mainly as just, I'm out in the studio. Let me make a beat. And then it just goes from there. As soon as I make one song, I like to always think, like when I started this album, I just finished up. I was just made one song, loved it. I was like, man, I love this. Let me just make 2 more songs and I'll just make 3 songs. Then I got 3 done. I was like, shit, let me make a couple more. I want to get a couple, posse cuts on here. I want to, and, before it was 10 songs. And now I'm like, I want people to hear it. So once I make the music, you know, then it becomes more of the hard work. Then it's like, okay, let's shoot videos. Let's figure this TikTok content shit out. Let's, you know what I mean? All these new things, because that's how people hear music. It's not just the same of, I just make my record, shoot one video, put it out, and it's good to go. You know, there's so much more to it now because there's so much more music and so many more outlets out there now. But the motivation is just for people to hear the music, man. Like it's always been. That's it.
You've got this really fun series on your Instagram where you talk about how songs came to be. And I've heard the one about Inner Ninja. Which was really, really interesting. I'm wondering if you've got a similar story about one of your other songs that people are very familiar with.
What's that?
I don't know whether it's "O Canada" or.
I got tons of stories about songs, but I don't know. I don't even know where to start when I'm like, oh, a story about a song. You know, there's 3 Foot Tall, which was another big one.
Yeah, so let's talk about that
song. That song came out from watching I think it was the 2011 Muppets movie with my kids.
Okay.
And if you watch that movie, 6 minutes into that movie, you'll hear 3 Foot Tall. So when it's just that, you know, it's this Muppet or puppet, whatever the hell it is, singing this one line. And I was in the kitchen, the kids were watching. I'm like, oh, what's that? Didn't think much of it. Next day they watched the movie again. I heard the same sample. I was like, oh, I gotta go. I took the DVD out, took it out to the studio, sampled it, called my dad over. He played piano on it.
Wow.
And then, you know, cleared the sample from Disney and everything. But yeah, like a lot of people don't know that's from a Muppet movie until they go see it. And it's like you hear it, it's word for word, exactly the same thing. I cut it up a little bit, but you know, so just I don't know. I like stuff like that because it starts with the beat. You know what I mean? It was just like, ooh, cool sample. Let me take that out, cut it up, and then kind of remake it the way I wanted to make it. Put those drums on it and everything. But
wow,
that's awesome.
Yeah, I got lots of stories like that, just about like little songs and the way they came to be. But yeah, you know, like you said, "Oh Canada." "Oh Canada" started because I was listening to the Sirs. Remember that Sirs concert they had in Toronto?
Yeah.
2003.
Yeah.
They did "Oh Canada." I just sampled the first thing, put the drum beat on it, and I was like, oh, you know, let me I wrote that when I first started traveling outside of the country, you know, in the States, overseas, and just seeing people's perceptions of Canada. Because this, again, was before Drake. So, oh, you do hip hop, you're from Canada. What does Canada even do? And I'm like, the fuck do you mean Canada? Like, you know what I mean? I was a proud Canadian. So when I went home and I made that beat, I was like, oh, this is a banger. Like, I could make this. Let me just represent the whole country and tell people in the rest of the world what we have done here, because we've done some pretty amazing shit.
Yeah, that's for sure. Let's get to our fun segment here. Lost Venues Classified. Is there a place that you've performed at that no longer exists, but that you've got a funny story, a sad story, a horrible story that you can tell us about? Not all three, but any one of those.
I probably got one venue that has all the stories. So the Embassy Hotel in London, Ontario.
Okay.
Yeah.
Legendary place. That was the first place I ever played where I felt like, oh shit, like this isn't just me playing for 20, 30 people hoping they pay attention. Like they knew my words. They were jamming. And you know, from then, this was 2000 and this would have been Hitchhiking Music. It's like 2005. And anytime I go back to London, like that's the first thing that comes to my mind is that venue. I seen the promoter get stabbed.
What?
I seen it's the first time I ever had girls like make out on stage, you know, just jump on stage and girls make out. You know, I'm like a young guy then, so I'm like all excited about that shit. And then a sad story, this is kind of getting serious, but that whole shit with Headley that happened, that was at the Embassy Hotel.
Whoa.
So, yeah, so there's a lot of different levels to that place. So it was a bar in the basement, or sort of like on the main floor, and then you go upstairs where your dressing room was, but where that dressing room was also a halfway house.
Whoa.
So you walk in the hallway, it looks like a little apartment or like a hotel almost, and there's some people that look like they're down on their luck just wandering these halls, and you're just getting to your dressing room, and you know what I mean? So it was a weird venue, but I know a lot of acts that had like some legendary moments. One of the first shows I ever did with Maestro Fresh West when he came on stage with me was at the Embassy. So
Really?
yeah, a lot of stories from there.
Wow.
That's funny because when we've asked the question, the embassy has come up.
Has to. It's just like
between that and Call the Office, it's like and
Okay,
London
yeah.
is disproportionately, you know.
People remember that. I remember one time because we played the embassy 6 or 7 times. One time, my manager drove us and we parked on the side street at the top of the street. We went and did the show and we came out. The car wasn't there. The car was down the block. He left the shit neutral and it rolled down the block. So just dumb shit that as soon as you say that, like the embassy, I'm like, that's what kind of the memory sparks.
The embassy in London, Ontario.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Wow.
So one of the things I'd love to ask before we wrap things up is what's in your earbuds lately? Like, what are you listening to that people should be checking out? New or old, doesn't matter.
What am I listening to, man? I just kind of not. I don't even want to say like one album. I think the last album I've been listening to hardcore is. What did I listen to? Like I'll skim through shit, but like Chance the Rapper's last album, I went pretty hard on that. Like that one actually lasted for a few months for me, which is rare these days because usually it's just check out some stuff and.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Honestly, if I'm not in the studio, I'm in the car driving my kids to basketball or some shit or to the mall, and they're listening to what they want.
Hey, what are they listening to? What are they listening to?
Oh, they're listening to my 15-year-old loves SZA, which I'm not mad at because it's actually some pretty cool shit. When I got into it, I was like, oh, I love the production, cool shit. Middle one's all about Taylor Swift, but I think she's just on her because everybody's on Taylor Swift. I don't even know if she likes her. She just wants to be part of the gang type shit. And then my youngest is actually probably the most musical. She's kind of down to listen to whatever, but she's the one that I can actually play some of my old school like shit I like, and she'll sit there and listen to it and be curious about it.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
That is so cool. We're gonna play your song "People" to end this off, and love for you to introduce the song and what people should be listening to.
This is my new single, "People," came out about a month ago. If you get a chance, go check it out on YouTube. The song is one thing with a message, but I feel like when people take in the video, I had people from all walks and shapes of life, doing over these lyrics with me to kind of show you, like we're all saying the same shit and we're all coming from the same place. We're just looking at it from different angles, and let's stop looking at these little different things. That's the whole point of this video, is people coming together rather than being separated and split apart, because it seems like that's happening more and more in life. And that's the whole energy of it. It's bringing people together, but at the same time, it's over like some banging hip hop beats. And you know what I mean? Even once you get the message, I feel like it's a song you can bump and just kind of ride to, and it still feels right. This
is Classified's latest. People, check it out on YouTube. We'll have the link in the show notes.
Like white people, any type of people, dark light people. I don't like people. I don't care if you gay or straight people. If you go both ways all day, people, still gonna sit here and hate people. Thinking maybe we're underdeveloped, trying to understand, maybe we're jealous. Maybe we wanna believe what they tell us, over-embellish the things that we say when we're feeling rebellious. I relish in thought, look at the world is so selfish and lost. We mark it up, never sell it at cost. I think that I had it with everyone, y'all. I don't like atheists or the churchgoers. Pray to God that the worst is over, but I know the truth is gonna hurt tomorrow. And it's all our fault, ain't it? Not one person, all of us. Not one race, all of us. Not one faith, all of us. There's only one place for all of us. People. So why do we hate all of us? Man, I don't really like people. I don't like young people. I don't like old people or smart people or dumb people. I don't care if you vaxxed or anti-vaxxed, if you cover your face or anti-mask. Still gonna sit here and hate people, thinking, why do we rate people? I don't like Democrats or the Republican. I ain't conservative, I ain't progressive. Nah, I don't want none of them, I had enough of them. I don't like politics or climatologists. Every day hearing about our apocalypse. We resorting to leaving on rocket ships cause we got comfortable with our incompetence, man. It's hard to believe in people. Nowadays I don't like meeting people. Vegan people, meat eating people. You job is or where you came from. When it comes down to it, we all play dumb. And it's all our fault, ain't it? Not one person, all of us. Not one faith, all of us. Not one race, all of us. Why do we hate, all of us? Give your head a shake, all of us. We need to be great, all of us. They try to separate all of us. Don't let them separate all of us. People. Why do we hate all of us? Why do we hate all of us? People. How can we dwell on irrelevant details? We fussing and fight over differences. Don't make a difference if you fail, then we fail. Don't matter the color your skin is, don't matter your age or your sex or religion. Look, I love you for being yourself, but I hate the division that's growing within us. That's why I don't like people. I don't like broke people or rich people or drunk people or sober people. Lately, I don't wanna know you people. Nah, but somebody gotta show you people that we gotta start looking at a bigger picture, cause soon it's gonna be over, people.
Awesome, man. Classified, thank you for your time. Thank you for the music over the years. Thanks so much, buddy.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Classified. Cheers, man. Really
Appreciate it, fellas.